Uganda, we did a research 2009-2011, and one of the findings was that there was low capacity in local governments to mainstream climate change. We piloted one of the districts in Vundubujo to support them to mainstream climate change into their development plans and budgets. And they raised very interesting questions of lack of the policy framework, lack of indicators, and they were not mandated to mainstream climate change.
The idea was to train ACCRA members and also districts in Uganda on how they can develop systems for monitoring climate change adaptation.
We used the tracking, adaptation, and measuring development framework tools, majorly the institutional scorecard, which has parameters for measuring if institutions are mainstreaming climate change, and the theory of change, which we used at community level, so that the indicators we get from the community feed into the local government, and the local government indicators feed into the national level process.
It will only be Uganda that will have undergone and finalized the process that links indicators right from the community level to the national level that will be used to measure climate change.
We engaged with the government of Uganda, with Climate Change Department coordinating, and we were able to bring all the ministries on board, as well as the local governments.
This ministry, and working closely with other key ministries, including the Office of the Prime Minister, the National Planning Authority, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, as well as the Ministry of Local Government, in working out together to develop through a consultative process some key national climate change indicators.
So we identified 2 areas. One of them was the local government assessment tool, because this is a tool that Ministry of Local Government uses to measure the performance of all local governments against set indicators. And within the existing indicators, climate change indicators were not part of that tool.
Providing key indicators, both in the OBT and in the assessment tool, we expect local government to comply, because they have got something very clear in the budgeting tool and also in the reporting tool to report on.
This exercise is really very important, and actually it will give us the opportunity now to report correctly according to how we intend to combat climate change.
To be a part and parcel of the local government interventions, and even it can be financed from the local sources of that particular local government.
So that means if we manage to integrate climate change indicators into the output budgeting tool, climate change would be part of the standard themes that have to be reported on and budgeted for and integrated into all the plans, which would help the country actually to implement the policies in place, like the National Climate Change Policy, the implementation strategy, and also use the climate change guidelines that NPA has developed.
The biggest challenge that has come to us as OPM in terms of delivering our mandate is the lack of capacity, lack of awareness, and lack of knowledge in terms of the different areas that we're trying to tackle and the different policies that we're trying to deliver.
We need also to target funding to local governments, because sometimes the money might come and remain at the ministries, and yet the actual implementation is happening at local government level. So one of the things we'd be interested in seeing is that money trickles down to the local governments where the vulnerable communities are. Local governments at the front line of addressing the climate change issues and hazards and all that, so they really need specific funding.
This ministry has been tasked to help other sectors integrate climate change. and the National Planning Authority is expected to ensure compliance on integration by all sectors in their respective plans and budgets beginning next financial year, which is 2016.